from the global macro perspective to the Indian and international lead market outlook. It is my pleasure to introduce our next eminent speaker, a highly respected industry veteran associated closely with the lead and zinc sector for several decades. Executive Director of ILZDA and past President of the Indian Institute of Metals. A strong voice for industry development, sustainability, and policy engagement. Mr. L. Pugazhenthy, please take it forward. We are keen to listen to you here. Mr. Pugazhenthy, the floor is yours.
Good afternoon, Benaji. Thank you for the motivating words. And I must compliment you and Chandru for organizing this series of webinars. 24th April, we had a webinar on zinc, and today we're doing a webinar on lead. Despite the blistering heat across the country, many have joined, and I'm very happy to see Mark Stevenson from Australia and Claire Hassel from UK joining here. So nice. They are all very passionate about this subject. And I think many of you have met Mark, and recently some of you met Claire in Raipur in our International Galvanizing Conference. And before I step into my subject, lead, Indian industry, global outlook, etc., today there is an article in the Economic Times. The World Economic Forum says India remains a center of attraction for investment because of large population, political stability, high economic growth, and booming market for all products and services. That is a very excellent positive note I saw. And I see similar one from ADB, IMF, and time and again, in the various sources you will see. But that's the story, 6.5% growth rate because of the recent West Asia war. Otherwise, our projection was 7.2% for this year, financial year. The war has brought down some impact on the Indian economy, but still 6.5 is a very high growth rate. And today, lead, I think Binaji has said so much, and Chandru gave a very positive outlook on the global picture, etc. Lead is the fourth largest widely used non-ferrous metal after aluminium, copper, and zinc. And this has been going on for a long time. And as one involved in this industry from the 70s, 75, etc., I know I read many obituaries for lead. Lead is going out soon. Lead is going to disappear. Like all kinds of stories I used to read, international, Indian opinions, etc. But on the other hand, I've seen lead booming really in many countries, especially in developing countries, poor economies. Lead battery is the main source for any application, for any power input, inverter, or for any other gadget. 1 second, Sajandru, raising your hand.
Sorry. You actually really excited me. I want to say lead is like the phoenix. Phoenix rises from its ashes.
Yeah.
Similarly,
correct.
lead also rises from its ashes. It can be recycled any number of times. Thank you very much. Please go ahead. Sorry for the interruption.
You said it in the right words, phoenix. That's true. In fact, you all would have read or heard many times lead-free petrol, lead-free paints, lead-free solders. Wherever possible, we have displaced or removed lead. And so happens for energy as a storage product, lead battery is the dominant leader across the world. Binaji, can you show the my presentation?
Yeah.
Before I move into my subject, I'll just give you briefly what is the global scenario, production and consumption lead. You have the numbers here. These are from International Lead Zinc Study Group. And you can see the production for the last 3 years and consumption also likewise. And there's a marginal surplus in production. 2025, maybe a surplus of about 70,000 tons. That's not a big thing, but so 70,000, sometimes 30,000 tons, some small supply exceeding the consumption. So this is the global picture. Now, the interesting thing, if you see the next slide, most of the lead is coming from secondary route or recycling. You can see the secondary share increasing and primary slight increase may be there, but the secondary has really grown up in a big way. And if you read there, 67% of the world demand of lead is met from recycling, from secondary sources. Lead battery, recycle, reuse. We are talking about 3R now, but we have been practicing 2R for a very long time, recycle and reuse across the world, I would say. So this is the story in the case of lead. And lead, one point I want to mention, Chandra mentioned about Phoenix. Historically, lead, like iron age, lead was used in plumbing fixtures in many countries, Greece, Egypt, China, etc. And that is why the chemical symbol is Pb, plumbum. That's why the chemical symbol is Pb. And this product, though it has disappeared many places, it is exceeded in the case of lead batteries. And that is one strong, even in cables for that matter, cable sheathing. Lead was displaced by XLP. But other areas you could remove. But here the quantum of lead that is going in the battery with improved technology, R&D, new alloys, we are trying to make the lead battery perform better, give a longer life, and then trouble-free operation. We're all talking about lithium batteries catching fire everywhere in the showroom, while driving, while charging. But have you heard of any safety issue or fire when you are using lead battery? Your car, your scooter, your inverter, such a safe product, affordable product, as Chandru said, 99% recycle. That's why it's a cheaper input for making new batteries. You can make as pure lead as you want from secondary route also, provided you have the right technology, both environmentally as well as technologically. Now, if you say here Indian lead industry, like the rest of the world, primary lead production, Hindustan is saying that's about 0.25 million tons or 250,000 tons. Imports is around 150,000 or 0.15 million. Secondary lead production is 0.8 million tons in this country. And the total consumption is 1.2, almost 65-66%, like rest of the world. This is my guesstimate, I would say. Some even tell me India's total lead consumption would be around 1.5 million tons. They are projected. I am doing a conservative estimate where there are many small recyclers. They are not registered with the local regulatory bodies and their figures are not available. I have taken from the available sources. If you see point number 5, the number of authorized units, eco-friendly units for recycling of lead is 675 as per the website of Central Pollution Control Board. And there are about 675. Point number 5, sorry, the units. 6 is the capacity, authorized capacity. The number of authorized units, 675. This number is the well-known number. The unknown number may be 50% more, or I cannot say that. By 2030, India's total lead consumption will be around 1.5 million tons. It can be even more as per some other experts saying that. Now, if you go to the next slide, you can see lead consumption. India's dotted line circle there. India is going up and up and up all the way for the last several years. US has come down. And South Korea also following the Indian pattern, they are also increasing. And the last two, Japan and Australia, you can see Japan more or less flat. Australia, the slight dip, I think. So you can see the macro picture of recycled lead, the total lead output, and largely it's coming from secondary route. Now, this battery, as I told you, every nook and corner, you can see a battery dealer. Either recognized battery companies, their dealers, or even there are small-scale MSME players of battery producers. In India, we've got IBMA, Indian Battery Manufacturers Association, where you have all the large players, Exide, Tata Green, Luminous, Amaron, etc. And you also have FISBA, Federation of Indian Small Scale Battery Association. Each state has got an association, and the whole thing is under one federation. FISBA is there. So that's a uncertainty in our country. Small players, unknown players, is really bothering the ministry, ILZDA, etc. How do we really fish them out? How do we bring them to the mainstream? That's a big issue. Here you can see lead battery, where all it's applied. Originally, it was all in railways, then automobiles, then inverter, UPS, but different regimes. Computer regime, UPS came, and inverter wherever you have summer month particularly, but nowadays, summer or winter, everybody wants to have an inverter in the house because they want a Wi-Fi. They want a power in the house all the time. And renewable energy, and then you got solar, all street lighting columns, again battery powered, and then electric vehicles you got there. In fact, in the future direction, in my opinion, would be more lead batteries in e-rickshaws, and also more lead batteries in the telecom sector, and more lead batteries in even solar applications, energy storage, etc. Energy storage, electric mobility, and renewable energy. These are the areas where lead is going to see a big increase in demand, and India also will emerge as a bigger player in lead in the coming years. And that's it. I think, is there any other slide? I don't think there are any slide. Yeah, that's it. So these are my words. I'm available now or even later through email or through a chat. And thank you very much. You fixed 10 minutes for me. Beenaji, I have to wrap up now.
Thank you, Pugsab. Thank you for maintaining the time limit. But Pugsab, there are some questions in the chat box. You can keep a track. In the meantime, we'll start with the next speaker.